My name is Ashu Khanna, and I'm the founder and CEO of Arca Leadership, an institute focused on developing authentic leaders. I'm also a part of the DLC Happiness Committee Mumbai chapter. The topic that I'm going to talk about today is overcoming the leadership clog through self-leadership and happiness lessons. Let's look at why. Why am I even going to talk about this? Because last 2 years have really taught us that we need to find a way to take leadership of ourselves and stay happy irrespective. Pandemics, are getting predicted more and more. Unpredictability or dynamism is the mantra that we have to live with. There is going to be change. We cannot do away with that, and change has always been a constant. In that unpredictable, dynamic, ambiguous society, how do we live and stay happy? How do we thrive? One of the things we really have to learn to do is take leadership of ourselves, because happiness is a choice and leadership is taking responsibility of that choice. When you recognize that it is for you to be happy and it is not dependent on external circumstances, is when you start taking onus of that which is part of you, an inherent, innate part of you, being happy. For being happy, what are the few things that come into play? And one of them is being aware. Self-awareness is the first part of it. How aware are you of your thoughts, your feelings, your energy, your senses, your emotions, all of it? What's going on? What is it that's happening at any point in time with you? Now, last 2 years, the world went through a crisis in not just as far as the pandemic was concerned, but even wellness, because our happiness was so attached to the world. We are looking at how can the world make me happy? How can my relationships make me happy? How can my job make me happy? We are used to being dependent on the world, but now all of that pretty much came crashing down, where A, you're working from home, so you're not even engaging with people all the time. B, you're probably stuck too much at home when you were not with the people, with your own family that much. So it created chaos in many ways. Your job, your office, your team was your support system, and that support system got fractured. Your family is a foundation, but sometimes when you're too much in each other's face, you don't know how to deal with it. There's stress, there's frustration, and you start projecting it on the family, because family is where we tend to take it for granted. Abuse, divorces, breakups, depression, everything was literally at an all-time high. There was a visible 20% increase in it. Now, while digitization helped us stay in touch, however, just the missing out of connections, being in touch with each other, that presence, because we all absorb energy from each other. We need a sense of belonging. We need a sense of comfort. There is a comfort in that hug. There is a comfort in that touch, and that's what was missing. There is a comfort in the eye contact. Many people were on Zoom, and honestly, most of them would shut their screens. I was often speaking to a blank screen or a screen of many black boxes rather than human beings. And that's disconcerting. It's difficult. It's about getting used to it, getting habituated. When you are in such a space, how do you still stay happy? I learned many years ago that happiness is something that exists within me, and I have to figure this out. I have to anchor internally. And the way to anchor internally is also within us. We all have the key to finding our way to happiness. There is a playbook in all of us, and that is called our gut instinct, inner voice, intuition, call it what you like. We all have that, and when we trust it and live completely in alignment with it, yes, it gets obstructed. We are not able to discern because the ego, the noisy, chaotic thoughts keep blocking us from trusting or even understanding or knowing our inner voice. But when we totally trust it and work with it, or rather live with it, little by little by little, we are able to anchor our senses, our thoughts, our emotions, our energy, and the more we anchor inwards, the more we find our purpose in life. The more you find your purpose, the more you are productive, motivated, passionate. There's something you feel relevant. It gives your life sense of, I am being valued. I have something to give to the world. All of us seek acknowledgement. All of us want to be recognized. All of us want to be valued. It gives us that purpose. Once you find your purpose and you discover your strengths, you discover your key skills and expressions, you're like your true calling. You bring that together, and then you see how you can contribute it together to the world. Your ikigai comes into place. As you start working on that, it keeps expanding. You start finding, the more you anchor and integrate internally, the more you find different ways of contributing to the world and expanding your expression. And some of the obstacles keep coming, because ultimately life is not fun without challenges. It is those obstacles that we need to find a way to keep dealing or riding these waves gracefully. The way to ride the waves more gracefully is like any sailboat or a ship. You have to have a very solid anchor. And that anchor is, again, within us. The more you anchor internally, the more easy it becomes to ride these waves of change. And I say it becomes easy is because you're able to be creative and innovative. I've qualified as a chartered accountant, but some years later I discovered my true calling was being a coach. I stepped out as a reinvented myself completely as a leadership coach, and started afresh. It required me to unlearn and relearn, because coaching was all about observing another. It meant I had to stop bringing my head in the way and bringing my judgments, my perceptions, all of that. Being that observer, just having to be that observer, put me onto my journey of self-leadership and self-transformation, because each time I wanted to excel at my work, I had to learn to zip up and just listen and then speak where I was adding value. So as I moved grew into from that space of leadership coach, from working with CEOs to working with a team of CEOs, I started writing books. That was my next discovery of the next expression. From there came motivational speaking. So things have just, kept rolling out. And each new expression was a challenge and an opportunity. A challenge because it was absolutely new, an opportunity because it gave me something new to learn, it gave me a space to reinvent myself and stay relevant. And now I've come up with, through COVID, what I discovered, or rather really, really worked on, was putting my skill sets and what the world needs and my years of experience together. And I have designed a one-page framework synthesizing the essence of Bhagavad Gita. So when you look at our scriptures, all of them tell us that there is one truth, and that truth is that we are all one, we are all interconnected, and our core is divine. And that means we all have that divine or that instinct in us which tells us how to live. Now, if you really take it from there, so there are some lessons I would like to share with you all as I look at my journey. One of the primary lessons as I started with was that happiness, I discovered, was a choice. It was about telling myself every day to be happy, to be okay, and even be okay with not being okay. Because it is not possible to always be in this euphoric state. You will have moments when, you will experience grief, you'll experience disappointment, you'll experience joy, sorrow. Emotions come and go. Being okay with those changing emotions, being okay with experiencing the vastness of emotions is what really life is about. How okay am I, or what is the bandwidth I have to embrace all the emotions that life throws at me, and how quickly can I bounce back from them, and then what is the way I can reinvent myself through them, and then what risks I can take to leapfrog ahead. So one is, as I said, it's really making that choice and taking leadership of yourself and making it your responsibility. It's not about the world. The second is being consistent with that. It's a practice. Self-awareness is not something that just stays with you. Like anything, it's a muscle that needs to be built. Leadership is a muscle. You have to work on it every day. Spend time with yourself. Have fun. Be silly. Be foolish. Be hungry for trying new things. Embrace life. Enjoy the relationships around you. Be a learner. Be curious. Appreciate the small things in life. Pandemic has really taught us how to be grateful for the life's given us, grateful for the relationships, reevaluating our priorities, and really enjoying life to the fullest with taking risks and putting ourselves out there and being okay, being uncomfortable, because it's only that which provides us growth. I work actively as a leadership coach. I write books. I do motivational speaking. That's how I stay busy with all, sharing all that I've learned over the years. Each one of us has a leader within. You're often asked, are leaders born or made? And I would say all of us have the capacity to grow into a leader, because our inner voice is our true leader. And the more we develop a relationship with our inner voice and project it outwards, that identity of ours, that true identity, we grow into a leader who actually has the capacity to inspire and impact the world. It unleashes our potential. Now, what is even the word potential? Potential means that which is hidden. So the way I didn't know that I had the ability to be a leadership coach or an author or a motivational speaker, they were all hidden in me. Each one has got unfolded with time as I have anchored deeper and deeper within, with consistently living with awareness and identifying patterns and letting go. That's the big part of leadership. You have to keep letting go that what is not serving you or holding you down, whether it's a behavior, a habit, a thought process, an emotion, it just has to get shed. So as a leader, as you keep growing, ultimately you're a catalyst for the empowerment of others. And that's what teams look for. Everybody is looking to be empowered and grow into a leader. I would like to share a little snippet on how I've benefited from DLC. Just last week, I was looking for a brand expert, and I went on LinkedIn, started searching for who in the DLC Happiness Committee is in the branding domain. And interestingly, I did find someone, Palak Mogal, who's based in Noida. Reached out to her on LinkedIn, and she responded. We got onto a call, we got onto WhatsApp, and lo and behold, just because we are part of DLC, she helped me out. So that's the power of a network, and we just need to harness it. I would really like to thank Jimmy Mistry for putting this network together and making me a part of it. Thank you very much, and best wishes.